2018 golf season is underway, and so is NOLA Golf Academy, beginning our 8th season on the air, talking golf in the city of New Orleans. And we're here at the Golf Tech Center in Metairie. And welcome to the program. I'm Charlie Ricks, alongside my buddy, swing coach Robert Emmett, and swing coach Stephen Calamari. This is an exciting season. The last few months, guys, it's been all about Tiger Woods. We haven't had that for, 2.5 years?
Right. It's nice.
Tiger Woods coming off the shelf, preparing for his comeback. Tiger Woods preparing for the Masters, which he hasn't played in 2 years now?
Mm-hmm.
But yesterday, Phil Mickelson made a statement, and he said, wait, guys, don't forget about me. I'm not going anywhere. How surprised are we about the results of Phil Mickelson winning the World Golf Championship in Mexico?
By far, I mean, a great win for him. 4.5 years since he won, last winning in the British. He did it with Phil Flair, too, in a playoff against the hottest golfer in the world, Justin Thomas. I mean, it's not like he backdoored against a no-name in a playoff. I mean, he stood up against the biggest name in golf right now and just, beat him. So, he's been close. If you could put the driver together in the last few weeks, arguably he had a couple other shots. But for him to break through, especially this far in advance of the Masters, it gives him that confidence to really build towards a win at a course that he really loves.
The golf game never ceases to amaze us, does it? Phil Mickelson, 47 years old. And I have a little theory about what's going on with Phil Mickelson. He's been under the radar for a few months now. He got a new swing coach a couple of years ago, Andrew Getson, who hails out of Greyhawk Golf Course up in Scottsdale, working on his game quietly. Yeah. But here's my theory. Phil Mickelson is missing a U.S. Open in the Grand Slam. He's finished second, 6 times?
Mm-hmm.
You know where the U.S. Open is this year? It's at Shinnecock Hills up in New York.
Right.
He's played very well there.
Mm-hmm.
He finished second in 2005, I believe. He finished tied for 4th another year. He's thinking, I'm not going anywhere. If I'm going to get another U.S. Open, I better get it now. I'm 47, going on 48.
Correct.
And of all the venues for the U.S. Open, this may be my best chance.
Yeah, I mean, it's undeniable. He's got great vibes, real good feelings at Shinnecock. He's got a long way to go, though. Just because he can win here at altitude, he's got to figure out that driver to compete at a U.S. Open golf course. Because, I mean, let's be honest, the rough is going to be 3 times as deep. He got away with a couple errant shots here, but you're not going to get away with at a U.S. Open. He's closer than he's been in 10 years. But he's still got some things to settle down first. But, I look at him to contend at the Masters. I think he's going to be, there on Sunday. And he's a couple, I think, good finishes away from really putting it together for a full season run.
Well, I think he's playing well, though. And as we said, he had 4 rounds in the 60s. I think he had more birdies than anyone in the field this past weekend.
Which is the Phil of old.
You can't discount that.
No.
Yeah. So I think, and that's been Tiger's problem. Tiger's not making enough birdies. He's averaging around 4 birdies around these first 3 tournaments. He needs to average 7 birdies around.
Right.
He's not making a lot of bogeys. And where Tiger is, and let's shift to him now.
Mm-hmm.
Tiger has been in training. These first 3 golf tournaments, to me, it's like his preseason schedule, right?
Right.
Came out of the blocks, fresh legs, fresh head, and you usually do well on your first start because you are fresh.
Mm-hmm.
You are clear in the head. Then what usually happens, that second tournament, your legs are not quite as fresh, and now you're thinking a little bit about the golf swing. Even though you had a good first start, he misses the cut in the second tournament. He comes back to the Honda Classic. his third start. Now, this is where your legs are starting to toughen up. You're getting some
you're
stamina.
getting into the swing
and
of
you're
things.
getting a little bit of confidence. So I expected him to do well. Of course, Honda, that golf course, he's always played well. He plays well on those greens, those South Florida, Bermuda greens.
Right.
He does well there. But now he announced 2 days ago, because we didn't know where he was going to play, if at all, before the Masters.
Right.
So now, a couple of days ago, he says, you know what? I'm going to play in 2 more tournaments before the Masters, which is the right thing to do. If he would have waited just for Bay Hill, where he's won 8 times, and then he misses the cut there, now he only has 2 rounds under his belt before the Masters. Well, that's why he's playing in 2.
That's what we were just talking about. When's the last time Tiger Woods played 5-6 rounds before Augusta? That's never happened.
Right.
So that's good.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the most tournaments he's ever played before the Masters in a calendar year. So he can't argue that he's going to be rusty. He's going, he's on a 2-year layoff, but he's going to be fresh. He's going to have tournament rounds under his belt, and that's the big thing. Is these guys, he's played more golf than anybody else on tour. He knows how to play tournament golf. He knows, but he has to settle into the rhythm of the round. And the only way he's going to do that is by getting back out there, getting back in the grind under the pressure. And the more he does that, the more he's going to fall back into what he's done previously. He's still got, to figure out how to get the big numbers off the scorecard. If he can do that, like he did this 2 weeks ago, he's going to compete. He's still Tiger Woods. It's just a matter of can he get the doubles and the bogeys and all that kind of stuff off the scorecard for 4 rounds together.
Well, he'll get to that point, but right now he just doesn't have the confidence. He knows that, and I think he's being very patient to get that confidence. Until he gets there, we're never going to see the Tiger Woods of old.
Right.
But here's my thinking. When he gets there, hopefully he does before the Masters, that's when you'll start seeing more birdies because that killer instinct he has, where he would put his foot on your throat. He's not even close to that position just yet.
Well, I will say this, the stat that I like the most is, what I seen at the Honda, he was hitting a lot of Stinger 3-woods in 2 irons, hitting the fairway. He led the field in proximity to the hole, which was like 20-something feet, which is awesome. So if he could get it back in play, he will be in contention at Augusta, in my opinion.
But he couldn't convert the birdies on
He couldn't.
Right. See, that's where
the bear trap, nobody can.
Well, here's where I see his game right now is, first of all, he started out, even though he did well at Torrey Pines, where he was like tied for 23rd, he hit 38% of the fairways. That doesn't win on the PGA Tour. Okay, but we knew that. There's not a big margin, for error off the tee. His irons were spot on. His greens in regulation were decent. Proximity to the hole. And then the third part of the game, the short game and the putting, that's just going to come with time. He doesn't have his touch back. And that's going to come from playing in more tournaments.
Right.
But he's fixing. He improved. The last time he improved much on his accuracy off the tee. He was deadly with the irons, and he made a few more putts. So that's, if you think about that, is he that far away from scoring?
He's really not. I mean, if you look at all of his previous comebacks, he's never been this close this early. It's been what was it, 2014 or 15 when he came back and he had the yips. I mean, he's chipping with a 3-wood because he couldn't put a wedge in his hands. He hasn't had that. His short game's been there pretty well. His thing this time is the driver, and he's searching. He's got a new driver in his hands, in his bag. So he's still, he's changed shafts multiple times inside of the tournaments so far he's played. So it's going to take him some time to get comfortable, because Tiger's all about comfort. The first thing he did was he put that Scotty back in his bag that he won the Masters with in 2000, and he's comfortable there, so he makes putts with it. As soon as he finds that combination that he's comfortable with, he's confident with, the numbers he's putting up and the way his swing looks, I mean, I really see him making a run.
Okay, we're going to go to break here in a minute, but it's good to be back on the air with you guys. Lots of show left here, by the way. Our guest tonight, Carr McCalla, the senior advisor, former executive director for the Louisiana Golf Association, will be right here in NOLA Golf Academy. Our good buddy Chip Patterson, the executive director for the First Tee of Greater New Orleans. Lots of news there. and some new friends. Brandy Duncan with the Next Generation Clubs. She's the development director, and Raymond Pizzatolo. They're having a golf tournament in Beauchene. It's a charity event. We'll get the details on that. And also, we're going to look at the majors venues for 2018. That's interesting. That may play into the hands in favor of a few players. We're going to look at the Vegas odds for the Masters and the Zurich Classic. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll take a short break and come right back. You're listening to NOLA Golf Academy on ESPN New Orleans.
It's in the hole.
To be excited about for this golf season, be excited about this show. Big news. We're going to unveil it tonight. Live video streaming. There may be listeners watching us on ESPN1003.com. And you know it could be challenging to give a golf lesson on the radio. But guess what? We have pictures now. And at the bottom of the hour, the next segment, we're going to get a putting lesson lesson over here on the putting green from you guys, and we're going to actually see you.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah, we're going to, do a little video. We're going to fix Steven up, show some different putting strokes, so, some stuff. It's going to be good. I think it's going to be a great year on NOLA Golf Academy.
Now, Golf Tech, we did the show all of last year. We'll be here at Golf Tech in Metairie. It's on 17th Street between Severn and Causeway, right behind the Lakeside Mall. There's been a remodel. And if you haven't been here, well, if you were here, let's say a few months ago, and you haven't been here recently, come check it out. So what's all this new stuff?
Yeah, so, we fully remodeled end of November, beginning of December. And, it's not just a facelift. So rolled out a bunch of new stuff. New logo, obviously, as you see this big LED behind us. But, enhanced the experience here. So new monitors on the wall, new cameras coming on the way, new computers, new flooring, new nets, everything just being upgraded. New teaching software makes it a lot more interactive for the client and all that kind of stuff. And then bringing out, a lot that's what's in golf right now. Equipment. Visibly, seeing that stuff, it's transparency. It's, you're able to see, what we have to offer. And, a lot of that stuff is on the custom side. We're not an off-the-rack company. We're a custom company. And that's what we want to showcase, and that's what we do best.
You got to love these colors, very high-tech looking.
Right.
These LED lights you put in the hitting
Correct.
bays.
So all the bays.
We were in the dark before.
Yeah, all the bays are now full
didn't
LED. And that's going to, it's going to facilitate a lot of, the high-tech things we're offering, the new technology in golf. You can't watch something on Sunday without seeing a buzzer of TrackMan or SkyTrack or something like that. And, that's where we are. We're, we custom everything to every client. And that's what that is there to offer and facilitate.
Well, the other thing that's new, and you should have said this right out of the blocks, you're now lefty-friendly.
Double lefty-friendly. We were always lefty-friendly in one, and, you're friendly lefty right here. Now we're double lefty-friendly. So now we've got two lefties. We expanded Bay 2. But still 4 bays, just, everything upgraded, everything better. And it's been really nice so far.
We have so much to get in through all during the season. Of course,
Correct.
We'll get into, you have all the hottest equipment here.
Yep.
You do the club fitting, obviously, which if you're going to invest hundreds of dollars on a new driver or thousands on new irons, you have to get club fitted.
Yeah.
And, a good fitting, which is what you do here. All right, we talked about Phil Mickelson.
Yep.
Shocker, kind of, yesterday. We all have the expectations for Tiger Woods. I'm thrilled just to see a Masters now with Tiger Woods in it, which we haven't had for 2 years.
Right.
Believe me, it took a little bit out of the Masters for him not to be there.
Big time.
So that's exciting. But let's talk about Justin Thomas. He's the hottest player on the tour right now. He was the hottest player last year on the tour. And he just continues. Yesterday, he could have won that golf tournament on the last hole. He holed out, of course, on 18 to get to the playoff. This guy's serious. Is this guy that good?
Yes. Just yes. I like how you mention it in the light of Tiger, because this is the first guy. I mean, I know we got into this last year. Who's the next Tiger? We've got the big three, right? We've got Jordan, Jason, and Dustin. And I told you this last year, and I'm sticking to it. Justin Thomas, as far as young Americans go, he's got the complete game. He's the only one in, yes, it's in flashes so far, but he's done it for a few months every year the last 3 years. If he could put it together for a calendar year, he's the only one that really has the talent. Tee to green, solid. Jordan Spieth does everything okay. Justin does everything pretty extraordinary when he's on top of his game. Not to mention he's got a little bit of that bad boy aura around him that Tiger had. I mean, he doesn't mind being the bad guy. He doesn't mind being the dark horse. So, I really see a lot of – plus a flair for dramatic. I mean, he holes out from 120 yards on the last hole to get into a playoff. The only other person that does that is Tiger. And I really see him, if he can put it together full-time – he's of the contemporaries, of the Americans, the only one that can make it look like Tiger.
So are you seeing maybe more Tiger in him than you saw in Jordan Spieth?
Big time. Tiger's a lion.
That's scary.
Yeah, no, but I mean, think about Jordan. He blows up. He doesn't you know, he's had plenty of tournaments where he's Augusta twice. He's had times when he's a sure end to win and just spits the bit. Undeniably spits the bit. Jordan, yeah, he missed a putt in a playoff yesterday. We'll get to that later. I'm the conspiracy theorist. Yeah. But he shot 62-64 on the weekend just to get there. Jordan's never done that. That's a Tiger thing. If Justin gets the lead, he expands the lead. He doesn't come back. He goes forward. And that's the only other guy that does that is Tiger. And, Rory's done it once or twice, but Justin is showing the ability to do it full time.
Well, goes back to Tiger. So Tiger in his prime, which I thought was crazy, is 33% of the time he teed it up, he won. In the last 35, 36 events, Justin Thomas has won 7 or 8. It's like he's winning 25 to 27% of the time right now, which is Tiger-esque number. So nobody's came close to that. Even Jordan, even Dustin Johnson, none of those guys had those numbers when they were in their prime. And playing well, so that's pretty good.
Just to understand what he's doing, he's 24 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He's number 2 in the world. He passed Jordan Spieth, who's number 4. Now, of course, Dustin Johnson is number 1. His scoring average, 69.0. Now, years ago, the Varden Trophy or scoring average for the year was like 70 or 71.
Mm-hmm. Right.
69.
He's already shot 59 on tour.
Yeah. Leading money winner. He's leading in FedEx points.
What are we arguing about here? Come on. The guy, I don't see how he's a shoo-in. I really think so.
The Masters, though, since he's on this high wave now.
Right.
It does put you to the test.
Oh, yeah.
And Jordan Spieth stepped up to it big time.
But he's also fell apart big time.
He has. So I think we're going to get, is he for real? Is he going to sustain it for a long period of time? Can he overtake number 1? You always, the proof is in the majors.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why another reason I'm excited about this year's Masters is Tiger Woods back.
Playing well.
Can Justin Thomas continue and win there? Can Sergio repeat? Don't think so, right? And, of course, Jordan Spieth still feels like Augusta owes him one. And then Rory McIlroy is another storyline for the Masters, right? He can complete the Grand Slam with his win there.
Yeah, it's really, if you just look at the stars aligning in golf, Tiger's got 2 tournaments to prove he's back. Phil just got back. Sergio played well. Sergio was there this weekend, so he's got a chance to defend. Jordan's always around. DJ's always around. The question there is, can Rory keep the 5 putts off the card? He teed a green. He's still, there. It's just on the greens. Can he make it happen? And if he's got a couple months to get there. If he can get there, then he'll compete as well. And, you've got all your big names ready to go, and that's what you're looking for.
You mentioned last year Jon Rahm, and we all know that Seve Ballesteros, certainly Sergio Garcia, kind of wore their emotions on their sleeve. Seve was very sentimental type person.
Mm-hmm.
Sergio could fire up any minute. This Jon Rahm, who and the reason I'm bringing him up, last year you thought, and you said you thought he was the best player on the tour and was going to be the next, make a big run.
Yeah, the next European guy.
So as we get closer to this Masters, the next like 4 weeks away, you still feel the same way about Jon Rahm?
I do. Just like you said, those Spaniards, they run hot. They're emotional. Mm-hmm. He's proven, his first year and a half, I guess now on tour, that he's got some of that. He's got to temper down. He's got a temper. He can run hot, and so when he hits some adversity, he's gone the wrong way. But he's also shown, he's got the ball striking. He's got the talent. He's won already. Being a professional now for only less, I think in May is going to be 2 years of him being a professional, and he's in the top 5 in the world. Super impressive. He's got a game that's built for the links golf. He really does. When he transitions and learns a little bit more how to play through Florida, how to play through California, he'll start competing a little bit better here, but definitely going to be a guy that's going to be around.
And one more player, since we kind of touching on the Masters a little bit, is Bubba Watson. He's averaging 350 yards off the tee. This is like 40 yards longer than Justin Thomas. And we know he's won there a couple of times. So he's another one that, he's getting himself ready for Augusta. Yeah. Also, we expect big things from Bubba Watson. Let's go to break. When we come back, we're going to get our first video golf instruction on NOLA Golf Academy. And, Stephen, what are you going to share with us?
We're going to share some different grips, why the bigger grips might be better for you than the smaller grips. So we'll talk about that.
All right, we'll do that video golf lesson here on NOLA Golf Academy. You're listening to ESPN New Orleans. About Tiger Woods' comeback a few minutes ago, and of course we all know what he means to golf. This is interesting. CBS Sports during the Honda Classic, their ratings were the highest they've been in 5 years. They increased the audience share by 43%. And then the Golf Channel on Sunday during the Honda Classic, the Golf Channel was rated the #1 sports cable channel.
The Tiger effect.
And at that time, during that 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern time, you had NASCAR, you had the Olympics, and you had the NBA at the same time, and the Golf Channel wins out. That's strong. He is back.
Yeah, he is back. I mean, it's undeniable what he does for the game. And, these guys, that's why they don't mind him being back and taking up so much of that limelight is because he's done so much for the game. So, it's a win-win, period.
Okay, I mentioned to you that there's a craze right now with the oversized putter, the supersized grip for putting. A lot of people are going to it. Is it good? Is it bad? So we're going to have our first video lesson. Stephen Calamari, the swing coach here at Golf Tech, is going to share some thoughts on that big putting grip. Stephen?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I'll throw it to him and just kind of our guinea pig over here. So, fat putting grips, why should you have one? Should you not have one? They came about with KJ Choi 10, 12 years ago when he went to the super fat grip. Couple benefits for him. So guys that are going to be real wristy in the putting stroke. So they're going to bend their wrists a lot, not just swing their shoulders. So we got Steven here. If he's going to, make a putting stroke, we got a poker chip on the ground right there. So if you can just visualize this on the radio, if he makes his normal putting stroke and kind of cups his left wrist, so bends his left wrist where that club head passes up his hands, he's going to miss that poker chip.
Swinging too much up on it.
It's swinging too much up on it. It's going to cause you to top the ball a lot.
Yeah.
The blade's going to hit the middle of the ball, and it's going to come off skipping. It's not going to be rolling end over end.
Yeah. Well, my chips are usually a lot higher than that. So
yeah,
we all wish that.
Yeah, famous last words, right? So if we were to get him to a putting stroke where his wrists were firmer, less breaking down, he's going to be able to make contact with that poker chip and send it downrange towards the hole, a la golf ball, not skipping. So for a guy like that, that's going to, if he takes a couple swings and he misses that poker chip, if we were to turn around and put him into a fatter grip, like that 3.0 Super Stroke he's got behind him, what it's going to do is it's going to help him get his hands out of the golf swing. It's going to help him be less quote-unquote wristy. So when he comes through impact, that putter blade's going to be closer to the ground. It's going to hit the ball properly, and he's going to get the ball rolling end over end on his intended line earlier.
So you're holding the supersized
Correct.
I'm
grip.
holding.
So he's holding the
That's
supersized
the latest
grip.
thing. That's the hottest one on the market right now.
And
right?
so when we were talking about that earlier, so KJ Choi, when Super Stroke first came out, he was the first guy to use it. It was a huge grip, so people liked it. The problem was it was too heavy. So now Super Stroke has 2.0s, 3.0s, so it's kind of like one step up above a normal grip, a huge grip, an intermediate grip. So it's kind of something that it's all about feel. It's got to be something that you like to putt with. Right. But this is about, what is this? This is the 2.0 here, pistol, and this actually has a flatter top, which we're about to get into here for a little bit.
Exactly. So that flatter top there, it's going to be more for him to get his hands going straight down it. A little bit, as you see here, his hands out of it, the putter in the palm of his hands, not in his fingers. So when he's coming through, for a guy that gets very wristy, if that putting is in his palms, if the blade's in his palms, he's not going to be so, inclined to break his wrist down and, miss putts.
Now, I had a club fitter. I went in to get my putter re-gripped, and I said, I want one of those oversized jumbo putter grips that everybody's using. He says, I'm not going to put that on your putter. I said, why not? He says, if I put it on, you'll be back in here after a couple of rounds and want me to take it off.
Right.
I said, well, why is that? He says, a lot of players that he put the big grip on their putter, they said they couldn't feel the putter head.
Correct.
Is that common with this big grip?
It is. And, this is something, too, that we've, gone to in golf is, they've changed these putter grips. So when they first came out, there was the one size. It was the KJ Choi 5.0, gigantic thing. Now they've got them in all different sizes, pistol, with the flat front, with the rounded front. But also what they're making, everybody's heard of a counterbalance putter. What's a counterbalance putter? It's got weight in the butt end of the shaft, which also aids. Look at him making putts. It aids in you not getting wristy with the putter. So what's going to go on now with these new Super Strokes is you can find the putter, the size that you like, but on the end of it, it's going to have a cap where you can screw in either just the regular end of it, or you could screw in a 50, 40, or 60 gram weight that's going to add weight to the end of the putter to also help you in swinging it like a pendulum and not just breaking your wrist down.
All right, so tell us, you said being wristy. Tell us what goes wrong if you get too wristy.
So if you get too wristy, what you're going to do there is you're going to hit too far up on the ball, and you're going to, if you can see this from Steven here on the road, what's going to happen is he's hitting up on it, and it's going to cause the ball to skid. You saw that first bounce was a skid, and that's what's going to cause it to get off of its line earlier. If he were to keep his wrist firmer off the putter blade, you're going to see it rolling end over end right off the bat. And that's the idea. As long as you start that ball on your intended line, it's going to stay on your intended line.
And club face.
Club face, exactly.
It's just club face is all over the place. When I cut my wrist, generally when I'm swinging up, my toe opens up and everything is pushed. So you're going to miss it. You're not going to start the ball on line. And like he said, you're going to skid it. It's just not going to be a very firm putt, and you're going to miss everything right for the most part. So
correct. It's all club face control as well as, solid. The idea, 90% of guys, when they come in for a lesson, come in for a putter fitting, they think they're aimed at the hole, and where they're aimed and where they actually are completely two different things, because they're compensating for the fact that, they're bending their wrist, they're flipping, and that's what's causing that ball to, start on the line they think it's starting on versus what it's actually starting on.
Some of the senior golfers and even young golfers that are looking at vintage video, they may see Arnold Palmer in his heyday, who was very wristy, but there was a reason for that. What was that
Greens.
Reason? Greens are a lot slower. Average green speed back then was, 7 and 8 on a stimp meter. Now, if it's 7 on the stimp meter, the only time it's that is if it's soaking wet at the British Open. Everything's going to be 13 and 14, so you need these very small, very particular strokes. And if you're manipulating that club face at all at the moment of impact, that ball, because the greens are so much faster, is going to come off, rolling on its side. A lot of guys, what you're going to see here is if they put a line on the ball, so draw that line. You see all the guys on tour. If you hit it and you're extending that left wrist, cupping your left wrist at all, that ball instantly is going to have, if you got that line, where you want to go, it's going to be off center right off the blade. And that's, a candidate for someone that needs a blade like that, needs a grip like that, that's going to be a little bit fatter, going to get them a little bit, more solid through impact.
When you have a student come in and says they want the oversized grip, they like the way it feels, do you put them into it immediately, or do you start looking at their putter stroke?
Right. So we'll start from the basics. It's you got your putter on you, cool. Hop over here, hit a couple putts for me, just like we did with Steven. One of my favorite moves, I did this to you earlier today, is when we drop that poker chip on the ground, say, hey man, hit that chip. 9 times out of 10, first 3 strokes, complete whiff. Not going to hit it. And that's because that wrist is breaking down. The putter blade is working upward, and it's going to hit through the middle of the equator of the golf ball. Then we can start talking about, okay, now I've got some tangible evidence. Man, you've got some wrist bend issues. So we're going to go over there. We're going to put him in something a little bit fatter. And then we're going to see what profile he likes in his hand, what his hand size is. Does he need a 5.0? Does he need 3.0? And then find out, does he like a rounded top? Does he like a flat top, the pistol grip? Does he need a counterbalance weight? Does he need a normal weight? There's more stuff that goes into it than just, I want a fat grip. Okay, here you go.
Exactly. And it's all preference. It really is. So it does help.
Okay.
If you do flip, we do, you could try it. It does help you, but it's just a preference thing. You have to like the way it feels, just like putters. Some guys change putters on tour after 2 months just to look at something new, and they start making putts. It's just, so it's all preference.
As far as feel?
Yes.
Okay.
Feel, and then we help you with the stroke, and then obviously if you are wristy, we'll help you with that first, and then we could suggest you getting a bigger grip, which will obviously help that as well.
Would you ever have a student come in and you recommend you could get a thinner grip than the standard size? Have you ever recommended a thinner grip?
Well, actually, and we were just talking about this too, the thinner grips are starting to come back a little bit again, especially on tour. So you're seeing kind of a mixture of it now. So it's a little bit of both.
You're seeing, a lot of guys that look at, all your younger pros. What are they using? They're using that nice blade putter, that conventional putter you've seen forever with the skinny grips, because they're made for a putter head you need. Think Tiger Woods, that Scotty Cameron he's used forever when he had the Nike 2. It's the same profile. It's a putter that he needs to release. He needs the toe of that putter to work over the heel. If you do that with a fat grip, you're not going to be able to do that. So you got to look at the profile of the putter as well. If we get a guy that's, got a mallet, something that needs a very straight back, straight through stroke, and we put a skinny grip on it, his hands are going to be more involved in the stroke right off the bat, and he's not going to be consistent with his club face. versus a guy if we get him in a malleted putter. I mean, a blade putter that needs to be arced, that needs to be released. If he's got a fat grip, he's not going to be able to do that. So it's all tailoring. 80 your stroke would be to the putter you have.
Well, and we're talking about it. So Ricky Fowler. Ricky Fowler is actually a very narrow stance, and he releases the toe a lot. Jordan Spieth, left hand low. And that's what I'm saying. You can't put Ricky Fowler in a big grip because he releases that toe a lot. Jordan Spieth is complete opposite. He's left hand low. He's trying to keep everything as square as possible. So it's two completely different styles. And that's what Ricky Fowler. There's no way you could put him in a big grip. His stroke would not work for that.
That's a great example. If you put Ricky in a fat grip, he's going to miss every putt to the right of the hole.
How's that, guys? Our first video lesson.
Not bad.
On the
not too
live
bad. Huh?
Streaming.
Yeah. I gotta lose some weight here, but not too bad.
Okay, next we're going to continue next hour with the putter. What are you going to cover next hour?
Talking about counterbalance weight, toe hang, and just kind of explain what helps for what stroke on how the face is and what guys are going to more on tour these days is with that. So.
Okay, great. Okay, we're going to go to break. When we come back, a good friend of the program, does a lot of good work in golf here in the city of New Orleans, the executive director for the First Tee of Greater New Orleans. I'm talking about Chip Patterson. Been on the show many times. Looking forward to kicking off the season with him. We'll do that with Chip Patterson right after this break. Stay right there. You're listening to NOLA Golf Academy, ESPN New Orleans. well. It's also in the month of April. And tomorrow, the Sports Hangover with Gus Cattengill will be live at the TPC Louisiana for Zurich Classic Media Day. So from 12 to 3, Gus will be out there. He'll have all the, I guess, the big brass
Yeah.
from the Four Kids Foundation. Steve Worthy, I'm sure, will
Yeah.
join him, and he'll have a few other guests. So that's tomorrow at the TPC Louisiana Sports Hangover.
Yep.
Gus Cattengill, 12
Yep.
to 3 o'clock. We've had Chip Patterson is joining us now. He's to my far left. Chip, we've had you on the show for the last. You've been here what? Is it going on 4 years now?
This is my 5th year, yeah.
Going on, yeah, fifth
Time
year.
flies.
It does fly, and always a pleasure to have you on. And a lot of people still don't understand what the mission is of the First Tee. And I know the first time I ever heard of, I thought it was, take the kids out to the driving range and hit a few golf balls and introduce them to this great game of golf. And you can, and hopefully they'll embrace it,
Right.
Use it in their business life, and certainly their social circles. But let's start right here, Chip. But give us a little briefer. Tell us exactly what's the main purpose of the First Tee of Greater New Orleans.
Yeah, we've been doing this a lot the last couple of weeks. We started up programming for the spring the last week of February, so we've had about 30 parent orientations. So I feel like I've said this same exact thing every day for the last 2 weeks.
That's your job.
Yeah, exactly. So parents come in and they don't necessarily know kind of what the First Tee program is. And we tell them, it's a great program. It's a comprehensive youth development program that teaches the game of golf. But I think more importantly, we teach the First Tee's 9 core values and life skills and character education and healthy habits. And all of those additional components that go along with the golf instruction are really, I think, what kind of separate us from most traditional, junior golf programs, is that, our goal is for the kids to be able to go out and play rounds of golf. And a lot of our kids do get competitive later on when they move into high school. But we've got a lot of kids that just come out because they like the camaraderie. The parents love the core values and the character education that we teach. And a lot of the kids that go through our program don't end up playing college golf necessarily. They go on and they get full academic scholarships because they built a really impressive resume by going through the First Tee program for several years. So it's great golf instruction. We have some really good coaches that are really trained to work with the kids, but golf is just kind of the platform we use to engage them. And they all love the game of golf, obviously. But it's really teaching them those concepts about responsibility and integrity and respect that really makes them just great people in the community.
So let's cover this for a minute. You mentioned the core values, and it's things like, just to clear this up, integrity, honesty,
Perseverance,
responsibility,
judgment, all those things.
So are you kind of using golf as a hook?
Yeah, golf is definitely the hook because no kid is going to say, I want to go do character education out of school, or on Saturday afternoons, I want to go learn healthy habits. No kids are signing up for that. So golf is definitely the fun component of it, and once the kids get out there, we teach them these skills. So all of these life skills are kind of seamlessly integrated into the lessons that we teach. So it's almost like we're tricking them into learning about, what responsibility looks like on a golf course, but then how do you translate that responsibility over into your personal life, into your school day, or interactions with your family and friends. So those things really start to click when you make those golf to life transitions. And the kids, that starts getting ingrained in them, and these core values just become part of who they are and what the life they live. So golf is definitely the hook to get them to come out to us. And the kids love the program, and they love the sport of golf, but those core values, that just becomes part of who our kids are.
And what age can they join?
Yeah, so we have programs open right now. We start with kids as young as age 5. So we have our target level class, basically, which is for 5 and 6-year-olds, where we will typically use like our modified snag golf equipment to make it a little bit easier transition for some of those kids that have never touched a golf club.
That's the Velcro.
Yeah, it's the sticky targets, the kind of tennis balls, and the oversized plastic equipment. And the kids really learn well because most of the kids that come into our program have never had any exposure to the game of golf. We occasionally get kids who may come from a golf family, but a lot of the kids that come into our program are just kind of first-time exposure. So we try to make it an easier transition for those kids. And obviously with 5 and 6-year-olds, a lot of times you're just talking about safety because it's not necessarily safe to have a golf club in your hands. We're around 10 other 5-year-olds. So we try to cover the ground rules there with the parents and kids. And then the kids progress on through the different curriculum levels to go to our player and par and birdie and eagle and ace up through high school seniors. So we get the kids as young as we can. We tell parents, get them out there at 5 because it's never too early to start. But what I like about our program is that we get a lot of 14, 15, 16-year-olds that start in our program because, golf is a sport you can pick up at any age. A lot of sports like basketball, you can't show up as a 15-year-old in high school trying to make a basketball team if you've never played basketball. But we had a girl in our program 4 years ago that had never touched a golf club until her freshman year of high school, and then ended up getting a full 4-year golf scholarship as a senior. So, there's very few sports where you can pick it up, and if you get out there and you get that golf bug, you can go out there and make yourself a pretty competent golfer. So it's a nice program for young kids and old kids as well.
And some of the members here in the Greater New Orleans chapter have won national awards.
Yeah, so we actually had one of our kids, Carrington Knight, is a high school senior in our program at Ursuline, just signed a golf scholarship with Rhodes University. I believe it was last week. And it's just, she was the first tee participant of the year in 2016, and it's just gone through the program for about 10 years, and it's just high quality kid. We had Julia Simon as another kid that won our participant of the year in 2017, was just named Lusher's Student of the Year. And I think she's done lessons here with you guys at golf.
She's been taking lessons from Stephen for about 3 years now.
Yeah. Her older sister had gone through our program also. She's playing collegiately at Harvey Mudd. So we've got, the kids that stick with the program, they come in as, 7, 8, 9-year-olds not having any clue what they're doing. But then when they graduate and they go on to their 16, 17, 18-year-olds, they're really just high-quality kids that a lot of them are really good golfers, but all of them are just really positive adults. And we've got kids. We've got a great group of alumni that are kind of out in the New Orleans region now that are really representing our chapter well.
So are you funded through grants, or is this primarily?
Yeah, so we have we've got a lot of different ways. So basically only about 10% of our budget comes from the participant fees that the parents are paying to go through the program. So 90% of our budget is through fundraising activities. So we do have foundations that support us through grants, a lot of corporate sponsorships for getting involved with some of our new activities. We recently had Whitney Bank come on as a sponsor just this past week. We're really excited about. So we have corporate sponsors, we have foundation grants, we do special events throughout the year. We've got actually a donor program called the 100 Friends of the First Tee, where anybody that contributes $500 gets invited to 4 quarterly kind of networking golf events with our 100 Friends members. So we've got an event coming up on April the 9th, actually, at Metairie Country Club. Will be our next 100 Friends event. So, individual donors, foundation grants, corporate sponsorships, all that. It's a constant process year-round. That's primarily my job with the organization, is just keeping that fundraising wheel going, because if we stop, we lose ground. So the more revenue that we can generate for our programs, the more kids ultimately we get to serve. Last year we were at about a $500,000 budget, and we had almost 1,200 students go through our out-of-school time programs, and then another 27,000 are being introduced to our school program in the kids' PE classes. So, we had 28,000 kids going through the First Tee program last year, and that's only a result of the fundraising that we're able to get out there and do.
Now, do you take volunteers?
We do. We're always looking for volunteers. That's one of our biggest needs. When people come up to me and say, how can I get involved? What do you need? We're always looking for volunteer coaches to come out and get involved. We've had several volunteers that came in through parents, or just came because they were active golfers and wanted to give back to the community, that have now gone through the program. We do really good training with the coaches that come out and participate with us. We're always looking for donated equipment. That's another area that, we get donated equipment, and we're able to give that to the kids in the program that aren't able to go out and buy their own clubs. So again, we're always looking for volunteers out at all of the local golf facilities. We've really grown and expanded our program locations over the last 5 years, so that now we're basically in all of the surrounding Greater New Orleans parishes. We try to make it as convenient as we can for the volunteers to come out, whether you're in Luling coming out to Grand Ridge Golf Club, or whether you're in New Orleans coming out to the public facilities here, or over on the North Shore. We've got program sites kind of all over the place now, where we can get volunteers coming out and getting involved with their kids.
Chip Patterson, Executive Director for the First Tee of Greater New Orleans. We're going to wrap it up, but before we go, if anyone does want to volunteer and donate, what's the next step?
Yeah, so all of our information is available at our website. It's thefirstteenola.org. And one of the things I would remind people tonight listening, parents, if you've got kids, it's not too late to sign up. Our registration cuts off this Friday, March the 9th, for our spring programs. And like I said, we've still got program openings at all of our golf course locations. We're excited about our program in Grand Ridge this year. We've got a registration open for that. We'll be adding a couple new program sites along the way, but anybody can find out any of the information about volunteering, about donating, about registering their kid at our website, thefirstteenola.org.
Chip Patterson, thank you very much, buddy. And
Thank
we'll
you so
see
much.
Very soon. We'll see you at the Zurich Classic.
We're going to be out there for sure.
Okay, we're going to go to break. We're going to come back for hour number 2. We're going to get our putting lesson number 2 in the second hour at the bottom of the hour. Also, Carl McCalla with the Louisiana Golf Association will be here, and lots more on NOLA Golf Academy. You're listening to ESPN New Orleans. And welcome to hour number 2 of NOLA Golf Academy. I'm Charlie Ricks. To my left is Robert Emmett. To the far left, Stephen Calamari. They are the swing coaches here at Golf Tech. We do the show here every Monday, 6 till 8 on ESPN New Orleans. We talked about the new remodel. It looks awesome. We like the colors, nice and bright, upbeat, positive. It looks a lot more spacious. And if you haven't been to Golf Tech, it's on 17th Street between Causeway and Severn. It's right behind the Lakeside Mall. Well, now we can say it's right to the side of Fleming's Steakhouse. Have you been to the steakhouse yet?
Yeah, we've been over there a couple times. Got some good lunch specials. You know, it's definitely for two guys in the process of trying to lose some weight. It's tempting. I don't like
not
it.
good.
Skip
We
the
got
baked potato. That's all.
we can't
Wedge
we can't leave the door open because then we can see that start smelling the steak wafting through the air.
So what kind of rating would you give Fleming's?
Oh,
4.5.
Ooh.
Four.
Ooh.
What?
pretty good. You know, a little pricey. I'm a little bit of a food snob, but it was pretty good. Out of 5, I'll give it a 3.5.
Is quality or price? Just for quality, you mean?
Yeah, for
really?
quality,
Not,
yeah.
See, that surprises me.
Yeah.
I would have thought it would be 4.5.
Yeah, I mean
maybe.
it's good
It's
stuff,
good.
but
At
it's
those
you know
prices, you would expect it to be 4.5.
yeah,
right?
you know they're
Well, they're going to work out. They're new.
it's new, you know it's a chain.
They got to work out the bugs.
They'll work out the kinks. Their lunch special though was good.
No
so to
pun
speak.
intended.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
But the lunch specials.
lunch special was pretty
Okay,
good.
we'll
yeah.
have to make it over to Fleming Steakhouse. If you go to Fleming, then walk across the street, and
Yeah.
here's Golf Tech. Come
Yeah,
in and
got a
meet
little
Robert.
little March sale going
and
on.
Steven.
So swing on by.
What a deal that is! 20% off on your.
Up to 20% off.
Game
Yeah,
plan?
so all of our game plans through the month of March. You know, with golf season kicking off, up to 20% off. So you know, everything here, as we've talked in the past, comes with unlimited practice as far as lesson plans go. So, you know, not only are me, Steve, and Pat going to be working with you in the lessons, we're going to be, you know, seeing you on a daily basis, weekly basis to hit balls. So you're working on what we're working on in the lessons in the practice sessions.
That's a good deal.
Great deal.
That's a good deal. We talked about the excitement of the Masters. Obviously, my favorite sport on television for the year. But the 4 majors, and we talk about it. We'll break it down as we go through the year.
Right.
But we like to cover the venues
Yeah.
of the 4 majors, and other than the Masters, the other 3 are in rotation. Usually they're in a 10-year cycle.
Yeah, 10 to
of
12
rot-
years.
Well, after Augusta, we have the U.S. Open, June 14th to the 17th. It's at Shinnecock Hills. It's been held there a couple of times.
Yep.
I can remember the year Corey Pavin won there. He was
Yeah.
one of the shortest hitters. I played in the Pro-Am with Corey Pavin, and everyone in our group hit it longer than he did.
Right.
But, boy, could he putt.
Yeah.
Oh,
Put the lights
goodness.
off the ball.
And he won at Shinnecock.
Yeah.
And, and Shinnecock is interesting because when it was first played there in the late 1800s, and the yardage was, believe this, the yardage total was under 5,000 yards.
Wow.
And then as we got into the 1900s, they bumped it up to
Right.
6, and now it's at roughly 7,000. It's not 75 like you're going to find some of these
Right.
other courses this year. So still relatively a short golf course, but the fun is going to be the USGA is going to narrow those fairways, and they're going to make it tough.
Yep.
And they have to do something, right?
They got to do something. I mean, and you know, talking about Phil earlier, Phil's revenge tour. I mean, one of the biggest letdowns of his career was when he lost to Retief Goosen in 04 there, you know, coming in second, double bogeying the 17th hole to lose by 2. You know, that's one of, you know, the T2s in the U.S. Open for Phil. That was one of the biggest blunders of them all. And getting back on form, can he get revenge? I mean, he's going to have to put the driver away if he wants to revenge at Shinnecock, but we'll see.
Well, the USGA is going to – they were a little red-faced last year at Erin Hills
Right.
up there in Wisconsin. The winning score was minus 16.
Right.
I mean, we don't see that at U.S. Opens typically.
No.
So I think they're mad.
I think so. Because, I mean, if you remember before that tournament, Rory McIlroy backed him down. He on Wednesday, he goes out and plays the practice round. And, you know, everybody's talking about how big the rough is, how it's so unfair.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? They go down and they cut the rough down the day before the tournament starts. So what's happened? They blitz the field. You're not going to see that from the USGA again. I think they're going to get even with the players. I think they're going to, you know, show them that. And it's a big thing for golf, too, because everything, you know, we're making golf courses so long. I think the USGA is going to prove that they can play a 7,000-yard golf course and make it, because they played 7,800 last year at Erin Hills. They're going to make it even tougher, and it's going to play short for these guys.
Like defending champion Brooks Koepka on that golf course. Dustin Johnson. Look at Bubba Watson averaging 350 now. Yeah,
It's a different game.
It's going to be fun to watch that. Okay, the British Open is going to move over to Scotland at Carnoustie. Carnoustie, through the years, had a reputation. It was one of the toughest golf courses on the planet.
Right.
It still is. It's a links course. And you really don't see a lot of water, even from the seaside. But the winds could come off that North Sea at Carnoustie and make it
It'll get whipping.
and, that's who was the Frenchman that just
Vandeville.
That's the course where he had the total
Squid.
meltdown,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Was
That's
2005?
Oh, no, that
was
was
No, it might
early.
have
That's
been
probably 90s.
1999.
Yeah.
Okay, but we got Jordan Spieth defending,
Right.
and of course, there's so many players that play well over there.
Right.
Even your Spaniard, John Rahm.
John Rahm, I'm gonna like him that week. Too, what I look for leading up to the British is that Scottish Open a couple weeks before it. See what Americans go over there and play well, because it is an adjustment. So you're gonna see the Phils, the Rickies in the past have gone over to the Scottish a couple weeks early and won, and get their game links ready.
Yeah.
So you'll see that, and that's a really good teller to see who's going to compete, across the pond. Definitely, I want them to suffer over there because Carnoustie, that's a place where if those winds start whipping and the rain starts, you get that spitting rain with the wind, it can turn sideways in a hurry. And that's a test of golf. That's the golf, when you're sitting over here in your living room, that's the golf you envision, in England, in Scotland. So that's the golf we want to see. I mean, it's good for TV. The pros aren't going to like it, but it's good for TV. It's good to see, and I like seeing those guys struggle.
And I played in 2003. I went over when the British Open was at Muirfield, and I played golf not too far from Muirfield for the first time ever in Scotland. And it literally, when you say sideways, first of all, we were the only two people crazy enough to be on the golf course. It was raining so hard and blowing. We really shouldn't have been out there,
right.
But we said, this is Scotland.
What you came here for.
That's what we're paying for. And I still remember to this day, looking back at the clubhouse, there was a huge window, and there were about 8 Scots sitting there with pints in their hand, just laughing and just saying, look at these crazy Americans out here. Can you believe this?
Yeah.
But yes, it can get treacherous.
Yeah.
And of course, the other thing is the rough.
Right.
And if they bring, like at Muirfield, they brought it up waist high, that whiskey rough.
The
so,
fescue.
but that's going to be fun. The British Open, that's going to be July 19th through the 22nd. PGA Championship. It's still in August. Next year, they're moving it to May.
Right.
It's in St. Louis at Belle Reve. St. Louis, I've said this before, to me it's the most humid, steamiest place on the planet in the summer. That is going to be interesting to watch. I mean, they're going to be sopping wet.
Yeah.
At this PGA Championship.
Easily.
And, it's a different animal. That's, the pros are going to have to deal with, dealing with the humidity, dealing with the heat. Ball won't fly as far at times. So, it's going to be Darwinism, survival of the fittest at that point, you know what I mean? And so it'd be good. I like the change of pace. I like it going to Belle Reve. It's a little bit different. Moving the PGA up to May, we're going to start seeing some different golf courses, hopefully some southern golf courses. And get these guys off guard. I think it'll be a good test. I think, potentially they could go low out there.
Well, it's going to be over 7,500 yards.
Right. I mean, but that's like a par 3 course for these guys, the way they're hitting it.
Okay, listen, we got to go to break. When we come back, we have a new friend of the program, Brandy Duncan. She's a development director for the Next Generation Clubs. Their office right here in Metairie. Raymond Pizzatolo he's helping them with their new fundraising golf tournament. It's going to be at Beauchene on the North Shore, and we'll have Brandy and Raymond with us right after this break. Stay right there. You're listening to NOLA Golf Academy on ESPN New Orleans. we were talking about the majors venues a few minutes ago, and we forgot to mention the U.S. Open is changing the playoff format. Previously, forever, they had an 18-hole playoff the next day. And of course, that has some logistical problems. You're at the mercy of the weather. Obviously, the crowd won't be there. So this was smart. Now what they're doing, they're going to have a 2-hole aggregate playoff. And then if it's tied after the 2 holes, they'll have a sudden death. So as far as the majors now with the playoff formats, the Masters, sudden death, hole by hole. You have the U.S. Open now, which is a 2-hole aggregate. You've got the British Open, which is a 3-hole aggregate. I'm sorry, the British Open's 4 holes, and the PGA Championship is a 3-hole aggregate. So the good news is all the majors, as long as they have daylight, will end on Sunday. And I've always liked that. I thought that's the way it should be. Okay, I said new friends of the program. They are new. Matter of fact, they're neighbors in Metairie. It's the Next Generation Clubs. And with me now is Brandy,
Hi.
Duncan, and Joe Pizzatolo. I got it right?
You got the last one right, but the first one's Raymond.
I said Joe.
You did.
Okay.
You're forgiven.
I'm sorry, Joe. You know, Joe Pizzatolo has
It
a nice
works.
ring to it.
It
It does
does.
work
It-
very well.
It sounds good. I
pretty
wouldn't
nice.
answer it to it too much.
But Next Generation, I love your mantra, your slogan, change the campus and change the culture. So
Yes.
what does that mean?
So change the campus, change the culture is really about bringing just truth and purpose to students. And we do that by gathering them in like gymnasiums or classrooms, and we give them powerful, impactful lessons that we hope will help them in their life make great choices. And we talk about things ranging from how to handle conflict in relationships to human trafficking. And we are a faith-based organization, so we do give a biblical perspective on these issues. So that's what we believe. We bring truth and life and hope to these students. And in doing that, we will see a change in the culture.
And you're based here in Metairie. How long has the organization been around?
For 24 years.
That long.
Yes, and we are
Wow.
serving
See?
the Gulf Coast region, really, actually, with Mississippi and Florida now, which is really exciting.
I was a little surprised to see the schools
Yeah.
that you're associated with, and there's so many, and I can mention a few: East Jefferson High School, Higgins High, we all know that, Dominican High School, Covington, Mandeville, Lutcher. What happens when you visit the schools? Obviously, you're spending some time with these students.
Yes.
Kind of walk us through what that time is like.
Sure. Typically, we meet with students during lunchtime. So we'll bring pizza, and we'll bring pizza to high schoolers, candy to middle schoolers. And we have about 30 minutes. We do like a little game with the students, and then we give them a powerful lesson. In some of our schools, the students will even give the lesson. And then after, we also have mentors, volunteers from the community that come alongside of us and really are there to help the students along the way, to build relationships with people in the community that can connect them to people that can help them further in whatever they're going through currently.
Your fundraiser coming up shortly is a golf tournament.
Yay.
And Mr. Pizzatolo, I'm going to get it right, Raymond. Can I call you Ray?
You sure can.
So Ray, you're associated, basically you're a volunteer,
Yes.
and you're helping coordinate this golf tournament. Give us the details.
Well, it's this Friday. We're always looking to add more golfers. So if there's anyone out there that's interested in good causes, and for all of us who love golf, we enjoy playing golf, but events like this, we really do it for the cause. So if there's additional golfers out there who don't know about Next Generation and want to be part of something really special, we're looking to add probably another 15 or 20 golfers. And the venue at Beauchene is great. So it'll be really good. We've been doing this. I've just been involved with Next Generation, I guess, for about the last 8 years, and I've I've been fortunate. My children have not had the need to have mentors in high school. I mean, they were raised in a good family, but however, there's a lot of kids that just don't even have parents at home, and so what we're doing is we're trying to raise money for a cause that we believe in, that's going to really bring change to our city, and we need a lot of change in our city.
We're with Brandy Duncan to my left, Raymond Pizzatolo to my far left. They're with the Next Generation clubs. It's great to get some new information. So the golf tournament is this Friday. It's at Beauchene.
Yes.
Let's give the phone number or website they go
Yes,
to
sure.
sign up.
And also I have to say there's going to be amazing food like Bravos,
for
Mr.
sure.
Ed's.
Oh.
I mean, you can't do a New Orleans event and not have good food. But the website you can go to register is www.nextgenclubs.com/tournament. And you can find the information about our tournament there and register to play.
And it starts at 8 o'clock
Yes.
morning. Tee off, a little putting contest. You got lots of prizes. A shotgun,
Yes, a lot of
scramble
prizes.
format, always fun. You don't have to be
It's
a
fun.
good golfer. Just get out there, have fun. Like I said, the good food and I'm sure some good ice cold beverages
Yes.
to get you through the round, and lots of prizes.
Lots of prizes, really good prizes.
Okay, we got that golf tournament stuff done. Before you leave, let's talk a little bit more about Next Generation. I notice when you show up at the schools, 47 of them around. I don't know if there's one school you don't go to. The list is so the scope of this is a lot larger than I ever imagined it would be. Now, one thing I know you're doing right is when you show up, you're bringing. I'm hearing donuts and pizza to school
That's right.
school kids. I mean,
That's right.
that's cheating a little bit, isn't it?
Well, it definitely makes them itching to come for sure.
Right.
Brandy, give us some success stories
Sure.
of Next Generation.
Sure. We've worked with many different students. Myself personally, in the schools, I've given my number out to students and have had students at 10 o'clock at night calling me, wanting to know, how do I handle this situation? You know, students that have struggled with suicide, students that struggle with depression and feeling like there's no hope, feeling like, why was I even created? What am I here for? And to be able to guide them through that, to be able to help them, that's ultimately just such an honor and a privilege that we see. And like Mr. Raymond was saying, you know, so many students in our schools don't have a father and a mother at home with them. And so there's a dynamic there that's lacking of just someone pouring into them. And so we really connect them with people. Like I said, volunteers that come. We work with 100+ volunteers every single week that sacrifice their time to pour into the lives of students, because they are the future. They're our future police officers. They're our future government leaders. They're our future teachers. And so we believe in them. And we do it by coming there every single week, faithful to be there. And like I said, it's really an honor. I've been working with Next Gen for, 8 years, and I love it. Single day.
Is it mostly high school ages
It's high school and middle school.
and middle school?
Yes.
Okay,
So we go
you're
to some
not
middle
in
schools.
the elementary.
We're not in the elementary, no, but we are in middle school. And this is all student initiated. So students, there's leadership in these clubs. The students, like I said, even will share the messages occasionally. We have students that do that. And they go around and they tell their friends, come join us. And so we love it. It's an honor.
Are you looking for volunteers?
Sure. Yes.
So how do we do that?
You can go to our website and look at the information on there. There's volunteer. You can sign up to volunteer. And also, you can always call our office number, which is 504-885-0980, and ask for Alex. She's our volunteer coordinator, and she can give all the information on how to get connected for volunteer opportunities.
One of the great things I wanted to add is that a lot of tournaments and even fundraisers, any kind of fundraisers, you never know really where all the money is going. Next Generation, the way they do it, even their staff is non-paid staff. They raise their own income to work there.
Cool.
So, I mean, that's amazing. We know the money's going where it needs to go.
Brandy, Duncan,
Yes.
Raymond, Pizzatolo, thank you very much for sharing the information about Next Generation Clubs. The golf tournament this Friday, go to golf at nextgenclubs.com. You can register or call 504-885-0980. So go to nextgenclubs.com/tournament, and you can sign up. Boshan, great golf course, great food, maybe even a little music, prizes, the whole bit, and good game of golf.
Yes.
Thank you very much,
Thank
and we
you.
really appreciate you
Yes.
sharing the information on Next Generation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And you're our new friends. Okay. Thanks a lot. We're going to take a break. We'll come back, and Cara McCalla, the senior advisor, former executive director for the Louisiana Golf Association, we'll talk to him, and you know what? They're planning a trip to Ireland. We'll do that next on NOLA Golf Academy on ESPN New Orleans. Thinking about the Masters, and of course, we're not even close to picking our winners. Just
Oh, man,
yet.
I'm ready. I can do it right now.
Now, I want to see what happens the next couple of weeks, as you know. But, we all always get intrigued by the odds in Vegas. And and we're getting ready to do our putting lesson
Right.
here in a second. But I thought it was interesting. Dustin Johnson is the favorite at 8-1, but Tiger Woods is at 15-1, and he hasn't played in the Masters for 2 years. Every player above him, are all in the top 10 or top 6 in the world.
He's not even in the top
But-
500.
But he's 389, Tiger Woods. Why would Vegas even think? Is that like a trap? Is that just to lure you in? I mean, first of all, if it was, I would probably play it if it was bigger odds. But 15-1, I just can't reason with that just yet. But we'll see how things change.
Right.
If he I'm thinking if he wins at the Arnold Palmer Invitational,
he's gonna
Bay
be-
Hill,
he's gonna be
he
the
might
horse.
jump up to 4-1, like he was for 20 years.
Yeah.
All right. We said new on NOLA Golf Academy, live video streaming. We can show our golf instruction now. You can watch it. Go to ESPN1003.com and watch these lessons. And tonight we're covering the putter. Let's go to Stephen Calamari on the putting green. What you got for us, Stephen?
So talking about different strokes and how putters fit your strokes. So the first one, what you see, it's trending more on tour, is more of an arcing stroke. So like a David Toms or Ricky Fowler. So basically what we have here is a toe hanging putter. So what we want for that is the toe to shut down more. So basically if we arc the putter and the toe shuts down, this is exactly what this putter would be for. So as I make a stroke here, the more I arc this putter, the toe should shut, which squares the face up. That's what we're looking for. Then you have another stroke here where we'll go to, a lot of guys you're seeing on tour to have this is a face balance putter. So you can see the face kind of faces the ceiling more. So more guys like Jason Day have a more straight back, straight through stroke. So they're not looking to arc it. So they don't want this toe to shut down. They want to go what feels straight back, straight through. And that way they're having no rotation of the face at all. So the whole goal is just to see which one fits you best and then go get a putter that will help you either way. And the whole point of this is obviously to get the ball starting online the best. And that's what helps us get there.
Right. So, Charlie, just kind of talking you through it, you don't want a putter that's you're going to be fighting against your stroke. You want your stroke and your putter to be working together, as well as what we talked about earlier, the grip. So it's just understanding where you are, what type of putter you are, and getting a putter that's built for more towards it. You're accustomed to looking, trends on tour, where putters are going, what technology is going there. If Steven will show you real quick, just talking you through toe hang versus face balance. If he grabs that mallet putter over there, something you're much more accustomed to see a Jordan Spieth. I mean the blade putter. I apologize, the blade putter. Something you're much more accustomed to seeing Jordan Spieth, Tiger Woods putting with that small back to it. It's made for you to swing on that inside to out arc where the toe of the putter releases over the heel. More of your high-end golfers, you see putting with a putter right like that, but just by that putter being smaller, being less of a mallet, it is more, the face is more unstable. It moves much more through the putting stroke, which leads to more inconsistencies. So what happens on tour, these guys see that tendency, so they say, you know what, no, I want a mallet. So they go to what he had before. Everybody see the Odyssey 2-ball, right? What's that Odyssey 2-ball? It's got the 2 white balls on the back of it. It is purely face balanced. It was the most popular putter of the last 12 years, we'll call it. But those guys liked it because it was so balanced. The face stayed so still through impact that as he takes a straight back, straight through stroke, the ball always starts on his intended line.
Does he ever miss?
He doesn't miss. We've done this before. But again, those guys on tour, they have an arcing stroke by nature. They're more inside to out. So they had a putter they liked the stability of, but it was fighting against what they did naturally. So now what are we seeing on tour? We're seeing mallets with toe hang.
Yeah.
So you're getting the stability, much more
You're
toe
seeing
hang.
more.
So now you're seeing, guys that like that stability of the mallet, like that forgivability of it, but want that arcing into out stroke. Now you're seeing manufacturers. Everybody's seeing the spiders on tour, the red putter that he doesn't miss.
If only I could put this good on the golf course,
Right.
I'll be in good shape.
Well, let's stop here for a second because I'm looking at these, and I know the 2-ball putter, I'm surprised it's still even around
Right.
after all these years. But most of these putters you're holding and showing us. I look at the rack over here. Aesthetically, they're not very pretty. I mean, they're not good, nice to look at. So, but here's the thing: the average player who's going to go into a Dick's Sporting Goods across the street, they're going to walk in and look at the putters on the shelf. They're going to pick out the one that feels right, the one that looks right, the one that's a little slick looking, and it may not have any balance. The sweet spot may be the size of a gnat, and it's just not good at all. So throw all the aesthetics out the window, and if you want to get a putter that's going to work for you, we talk about club fitting all the time. Don't forget about the putter. You need to come in and forget about how it looks. Does the ball go in the hole just like Steve has the last 5 times in a row? So that's really forget about how it looks.
Right, and you got to get over that. And just to give you a little scenario, happened a couple days ago. Got a good buddy of mine who came in just to see around, and he's been playing golf his whole life, and I play with him all the time, and I've been telling him, man, that putter's not for you. He's got a 5.0, the big KJ Choi fat grip on a bladed toe hang putter. He's fighting against himself in 3 different ways, and I've been trying, and he gets it. Just what you said, the spaceship look. So I said, man, here it is. Just take a couple putts with it, just see what you go. And he goes, I can't putt with this. He pulled a Steven. He made 8 in a row. But it's just because putting's hard. I mean, it's a very confidence-driven thing. If you get something that is suited towards what you're bringing to the table, what your stroke is, that confidence is going to be there. If you're fighting against what you naturally do, it's going to be real hard. Because we're talking about minute lines you have to hit that golf ball on.
And for us too, like we said, it's all about getting the ball started on its intended line. So what we do here, like after we find out what stroke fits best and everything, I'll put a ball on a 3-foot ruler, and if you hit a putt and the ball rolls right off the right side, you're leaving that toe open. So we could either get you a toe hanging putter, help you release it more, or we got guys that'll come in here and start it left. So the whole goal is if you can get the ball started on its intended line, you're going to make more putts, and that's what we help you do, whether it's stroke, whether it's the type of putter, and that's what we're trying to get for you. So.
Has the putter design and technology progressed as much as the drivers over the last few years?
Big time. Going back to classic putters, everybody's seen the Ben Crenshaw blade. Those little tiny little. Basically, you could use as righty or lefty putters. The bullseyes. No, they've gone in a million different ways. Now you're seeing a lot of inserts in putters. Scotty Cameron using aircraft grade metals on it. Odyssey this year with their insert, it's a diamond graded insert. It's high end stuff. It's getting a lot of technology into it. Bettinardi, who we're working with now, is a fully forged American made putter. That putter, Steve, if you want to grab it with that white grip there, is made from a solid block of steel. It's CNC milled from a solid block, so it's weighted very properly. It's completely custom made to the golfer. And that's the idea here is, they have this technology to make something that's not just off the rack, that they can build it towards what you want. Do you need more weight in the toe? Do you need more weight in the heel? How do we get that putter blade square? This guy's a machine.
I know. No, wait, no, listen, I'm going to say you get what you pay for with these putters. And I would think if that came out of solid steel, a lot of work put into that, craftsmanship into that putter, that's got to have a big price tag on it.
Yes. I mean, you're paying for what you're getting, of course, but just in golf, I mean,
give us an idea.
So that putter is $400. If you're looking at anywhere from 3 to 4 for a good putter, Odysseys now, the Odyssey 2 ball it's over $200.
My first car cost $400.
Right, but I mean, they did a great segment on a PGA Tour radio a couple weeks ago of what would you pay for one shot around or 10 yards in distance. Like, what dollar amount would that mean to you? And the feedback was shocking. And, that's what these manufacturers are seeing. Nobody thought PXG would sell a club at $800 an iron, yet they did. So everybody's being reactionary towards that. And it's not that, we're trying to make you pay more for a club. It's that, we're putting energy behind that club. The manufacturer is doing their due diligence to make sure you have something that's long-serving. So, as Boo Weekly said, he changes putters more often than he changes his drawers. If you get something that's more custom built to you, you're not going to have to change putters so much. It's a putter that's going to last you 20 years. It's going to be your Ray Floyd Bullseye. It's going to be your Corey Pavin putter. It's not going to be something that, is sitting in the closet 6 weeks from now.
So, going back to that too. So, a high-end putter, milled putter, the ball feels way more solid, to me anyway, in my opinion. It rolls off the face, it jumps off the face a lot better. And then, like he said earlier, you have these new 2-ball putters, so that they're inserts, so they're a lot softer feel. So it depends on where you play, but these have little nubs on it to make the ball roll forward, but it's a lot softer feel. So that's another thing you have to like is for speed-wise. And for me, I played a milled putter for years. And when I went to an insert putter this last year, it took me a long time to get used to it, but it's a lot softer feel. So that's also another thing that you had to take into consideration, too, about putting as well.
So if I have let's say you have your grandfather passes down a bullseye or ping answer 2, is that stuff bad nowadays, or can we still play with that?
Yeah, of course. It's not anything that's, putters are sentimental. Putters are individual to the golfer.
True.
So if you've got something that's got that value to you that you feel confident with, by all means roll with it. That's the that's the touchiest club in a guy's bag, right? He's got his putter. It's his baby. No matter what I tell him, that's what I'm getting. He could sit here and make 100 putts in a row with that Spider, but it's not his Ping Zing 1974 Scottsdale edition. It's just, it is, but that's when the stroke comes in. That's when, okay, I get it. That's what you want to roll with. Now let's get you, teach you a putting stroke that is conducive to you using that putter. And, that's when that comes in, because you can't fight yourself. You can't have a stroke and a putter that are opposing, because then you're just going to be frustrated. If that's the putter you want, get the stroke that matches it. If that's the stroke you want, get the putter that matches it. It's very simple when you come down to it, and simple yet complicated.
Well, it does. I mean, you need some metrics now to start lining up students to these putters. We're going to save that for another show.
Oh yeah.
But Stephen, thank you very much. Matter of fact, you filled the cup up. I don't even think you can get another ball
once
in
again,
there.
if I could do this on the golf course, I might be all right.
Thank you again, man, and congratulations on that. Okay, we're going to go to break. When we come back, Carr McCalla, Senior Advisor for the Louisiana Golf Association. Yes, they are planning a trip to Ireland this spring. Very interesting. We'll get the details on that and find out what the tournament schedule looks like. Robert, you may want to go play in that.
I know.
Can you play Mid-Am anymore?
I can't professional, but they do some great events. We were talking about doing the club team event where they can have a professional on the team. So they do some good events.
We'll stay right there. We'll come back and wrap things up on this first show of the season. NOLA Golf Academy will be here all the way through the PGA Championship in late August. Carr McCalla next, right here on ESPN New Orleans. Louisiana. Gus Cattengale, the Sports Hangover, will be out there from 12 until 3 o'clock. I'm sure he'll have some pretty interesting guests and learn some more about the Zurich Classic.
Hopefully, we might get a couple announcements tomorrow,
big hit
too.
last year, and the team format is coming back, and I'm sure they're tweaking a few things, but I'm sure Gus will get all the details on that tomorrow. So let's bring in first show of the season. I said we need to have the Louisiana Golf Association on the first show, just like we had the first tee of Greater New Orleans. We enjoy working with these two groups. They're very important to golf in this state and to the golfers in this state. So let's bring in the former executive director, but now he's the senior advisor. He's the wise man on top of the hill. Carr McCalla. Carr, how you doing, buddy? Okay. I can see Carr McCalla still has his dry sense of humor, which we all love and enjoy. So, Carr, let's start out tonight with just a quick orientation for those that don't know what the purpose is of the LGA and what are the benefits of becoming a member of the LGA. Mm-hmm. Carr McCalla is with us. He's a former executive director now, taking kind of a little part-time back seat. He's a senior advisor. His successor is a young man, great young man, Logan Ray, is the new executive director, and we'll have Logan on, I'm sure, down the road here. Now, Carr, you are and do operate the U.S. Open qualifier, and that's your next big event on the schedule. I know the schedule runs from April all the way through September, but on May 10th, and I saw this today, I think on Twitter, is you guys just got your qualifying kit for the U.S. Open. So tell us about the U.S. Open qualifier and who can enter. Right. Or two handicap.
It's a 2.0 or lower index.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Yes. Hmm. Right, and this U.S. Open qualifier is at Oak Wing in Alexandria. It's May 10th. It's a one-day event. You can go to the website lgagolf.com and get more information. Before we let you go, the 99th, we're 1 year away from the 100th Louisiana Amateur Championship. This year it's June 7th through the 10th at Oakbourne Country Club in Lafayette. I haven't played it. Robert, have you played Oakbourne?
I have. Very good golf course.
And that's your I would say your big event of the year. Also, the other two big events will be the Louisiana Junior Amateur Championship at East Ridge Country Club in Shreveport. That's July 11th through the 13th. And all of these tournaments are still open for registration. And the U.S. Mid-Am qualifier, here's another qualifier. And this is a big event. This event can get you into the Masters, right?
It can. If you win it.
If you can win it. And that is August 23rd, Bayou Oaks at City Park. I'm sure that's the South Course. Is that right, Carr? Okay. So, no, that's good. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. Carr McCalla, thank you very much, buddy. We're out of time. We'll talk to you again real soon. Our listeners can go to lgagolf.com, learn more about how to become a member. You get on that handicapping system, and also look into the trip to Ireland in the spring, hosted by the LGA. Carr McCalla, good luck to you, buddy. We'll see you down the road on the golf course. All right, buddy. All right, take care, Carr. Okay, we're going to wrap this thing up, guys. Hey, quick 2 hours. Good to be back. I think we knocked the rust off a little bit these last 2 hours.
Only a couple Buddy Demas mishaps.
Well, you seen the leaderboard the last tournament?
I know. That's why you didn't even take a shot at it.
Yeah, we're not going there.
Schuma.
But
you didn't have that one in you?
I'm excited to be back on the air here at the Golf Tech Center in Metairie. Come down to 17th Street between Causeway and Severn. Right now, I have to look at this Fleming Steakhouse the entire show. That's tough. And they can smell the charcoal.
ESPN going to take us over there after this?
That's there you go. The whole crew just woke
the interns
up.
just perked up a little bit.
Okay, thank you guys very much. So that's going to do it for this week. Remember, live streaming, ESPN1003.com. So that's going to do it. And you know what? Until next week, get out and play some golf and take along a friend, a 2, 3, and make it a foursome. We'll see you next week on NOLA Golf Academy.